This is my lecture on why the back hurts. We are going to see the cognitive behavioral aspects of low back pain in reference to the Mulligan's concept of manual therapy. So, 1 out of 2 people worldwide will experience low back pain at some point in their life. Now, low back pain is the #1 cause of disability in the developed world. Estimates of recurrence at 1 year range from 24% to 80%. 7.5% of the global population, or around 577 million people, suffer from low back pain. So you can tell that it is a huge problem. And some say that it is the biggest source of disability nowadays. So if you search for low back pain on the databases, PubMed, Medline, whatever, you will see that it is commonly referred to as non-specific low back pain. This means that low back pain sometimes has a non-specific reason. So if you go to your patient and tell him that or her that, so if you go to your patient and tell that your back pain is with no specific etiology, I'm sure that the patient will not take it so well, eh? So why the back hurts exactly? So there are 3 main types of low back pain: acute and subacute until 12 first weeks, and then there is the chronic stage, which is for 12 weeks or more. So in this specific category of chronic pain, it is that the management options are more difficult to give results, because in this stage the patient's hair is more vulnerable to pain. Imagine a fire alarm in a house. In the house of a chronic patient, the fire alarm is on or simply by boiling water on a casserole. This is how vulnerable the state is in those patients. And let's see the deep roots of this cause of pain. So this is from a speech of Peter Sullivan, a professor from Australia, who gave this speech in San Diego Pain Summit at the year 2017. It was a very interesting speech. I will try to upload it on the resources. So he said that pain is in our genes. Okay, we begin from our genes, the genetics of pain. In there you can find the tolerance of each patient to pain. Some have high tolerance, some have low tolerance, so they are more vulnerable to pain. But we cannot change our genes. Okay, it goes back to 16 generations at least. So after that, on our genes, on our genes come life stages, which is the aging of the human body. The hormones change, the chemicals in our brain change, and all those cause several changes of neurobiological nature. The cells are getting tired, the nerves are wearing off, everything starts to slowly lower the pace of functioning. So inevitably this can sometimes bring low back pain. So pain is one thing, but the fact that pain exists doesn't mean that the condition is deteriorating. This is very important to teach it to your patients, because You can see a paper cut feels painful at first, but when you look at it, you can see it's nothing important, so no biggie. It's not such a big deal. However, you cannot tell that when it comes to low back pain because you cannot see your back, you cannot see the thing that happens in your back pain. So the doctor orders MRIs and scans and offers show all those scaremongering things about bulging discs that are out of positions, and these all cause a behavioral response to the pain. These are not things that we can change, but these are changeable factors. So the cognitive aspects, it refers to the patient's fears, understandings that if I bend forward, my back will hurt. If you think that your back will hurt, if it will be painful if you bend forward, it's surely going to be painful when you do that. So cognitive aspects, the emotional aspects, the stress, the depression, all those emotions caused by low back pain, the social aspects. Some people don't go out and socialize with friends for a coffee because they feel back pain. The physical aspects, this one refers to the things that I do and how I do them. The lifestyle, for example, this mainly refers to the time the time a person spends on sleeping correctly. A study said that if a patient sleeps less than 5 hours a day, this makes the patient more vulnerable to pain by 50%, meaning that if a patient feels 2 out of 10 in his VAS scale, this patient who sleeps less than 5 hours per day will feel the pain sensation as a 4 out of 10. So it's a huge deal, and of course we're talking about deep sleep, not the superficial sleep that the drugs cause you to have. And there are the comorbidities, which refers to the habit of smoking, which is toxic for the human body, and the diet of a person, because food also unleashes some hormones and chemicals which have a negative effect on pain, and also the exercise and the lack of it, which is today's smoking is a lack of exercise, some say. Okay, so these are all modifiable influences on pain. We can all change that and trigger those beliefs on your patients in order to not make them feel chronic. Κάνω παρουσίαση, αλλά εντάξει, κατούρα ελεύθερα, δεν υπάρχει θέμα, θα το κόψω στο editing, δεν υπάρχει θέμα. Απλά πες πότε θα φύγεις και τι και 35 βαθμούς. Γαμώ τα σκατά σας, γαμώ ρε πούστη. So many patients come to the clinic saying that I have an uncomfortable situation. I feel pain when I bend forward. So the thought that comes up is, what have I done now? Can it get worse, the pain? Here it goes again. I do that and there is pain. So these thoughts bring up feelings. They make the patient feel nervous and fed up. And those feelings give actions, which cause the patient to watch out for pain, to check their movements and feel muscle tenderness or spasm, and in the end make the patient stop doing this bending forward movement, which again perpetuates the situation of feeling pain when bending forwards. So you have to challenge the beliefs, to teach the patient to challenge their beliefs, because the pain is real. You always have to validate that the pain is real. It's not in their head, it's actual. However, you have to instruct them that you have to tell the specific patient for in the specific example. If so, you have to tell the patient that the human body has some muscles that are specific for these actions to bend forwards. So if you don't do this bending forwards, you will waste those muscles, and those muscles will get weak, and this will in turn deteriorate your situation. However, the patient will say that, this movement comes to me because the pain that I have was generated by bending forwards. How can you ask me to do exercises for those muscles? And then you will say to the patient that, because your muscles were wasted, you didn't prepare your muscles for this specific contraction, for this specific type of movement. This is why you feel pain. And it's a really hard thing to do with your patient, challenge their beliefs and teach them how to manage their pain. This is a whole new course that I can do for you, and if you want me, you can message me or write in the comments the questions or your reviews if you want me to do a whole lecture about the cognitive behavioral aspects of pain. However, you have to watch your language when it comes to talking with the patients about their pain, how they feel it. Because pain is real and it goes from the periphery to the brain, and for the brain as a response that something doesn't go well in here. You have to watch this out. So you have to watch the language and the approach that you have with your patient. So this is a study that actually studied this particular thing, the language that we therapists use, and perpetuates chronic problems. For example, you can use instead of using the word damage, you can say that it's a repairable harm. Instead of saying that you have kyphosis or lordosis, you can say you have a normal curve in your back. So this will change the way the patient see their body. Most of the patients come to my clinic telling me, you see this scan, this MRI, this says that and this, that horrible stuff. Okay, and I tell them, if you bring a magnifying lens in your face, you will see the freckles, you see the pops. So you will see many details that normally exist because of the fact that we age, but they are not responsible for your pain. The pain that you have is manageable. Just because you feel pain doesn't mean that you're deteriorating, because pain can exist without the deterioration of a condition. You can feel painful without having a condition, and you can not feel painful even though you have a condition. So you must teach your patient to disassociate those two meanings and engage with the patient on their trip to recovery. So this is a course that exists for free from Exeter University. It was the best trial, which is about the cognitive behavioral aspects of pain, which is very helpful. I have personally found a lot of usefulness into it, and it's free, so you can have it for limited access, but it is very good. So it will teach you a whole lot about how to manage this aspect of your patients that will drive them to something chronic. However, I want you to focus on this last slide, the positional faults. Okay, Mulligan says that the glides fix some sort of positional fault in the vertebra, so you actually bring the vertebra in the correct position. Personally, I believe what happens when you apply a glide on your patient is a phenomenon called peripheral sensitization. So you engage the patient to an activity while you maintain the glide. And this is the huge Mulligan's innovation on the field of manual therapy, because he was the first one who actually brings manual therapy in action. So you reassure the patient and you are making him feel comfortable and certain that nothing bad is going to happen to the back if you do some exercise. And so you establish the idea that exercise is good and helpful, and it is free and it is forever. So I wouldn't speak to my patients about positional falls. I say to them that, with these techniques, I am fixing the biological aspect, the tissue of the body, in order to bring everything in the final line for you to complete your recovery. However, I wouldn't speak to him about positional falls. I will say that I'm trying to fix some biological defect. And also Mulligan says, or at least used to say, that expect to see a miracle every day. I would never say that to my patient, because miracles do happen and you have to expect them and believe in them in order to occur. However, if you sell it this way to your patient, you are a miracle maker. So you become the wizard who does these magic tricks on the back, and out of magic I become well and healthy. So you make your patient addicted to you. However, it may sound lucrative to make someone addictive to your services. However, sooner or later the patient will understand that this is no solution, because when you want somebody to be healthy, you don't make him or he, if you want somebody to be healthy, you don't make that special somebody addicted. If you want your patient to be healthy, it means that the patient must not have need of neither medicine, nor doctors, nor physiotherapists, nor chiropractors. It has to have a long-term effect. And this is what actually differentiates the master of the craft with the other professionals, because this is the professional that will get more advertised by the word of mouth from patient to patient, that I went to this particular practitioner and he made me well forever. This is very difficult to achieve. However, there is a way, and you have to search it through. There are ways for you through practicing to achieve it, and it only takes time. I just consider this something necessary to do in order to give you the full picture, a spherical view of the Mulligan concept, because of this particular article that I wrote, which was very well accepted. Many summits, many conventions invited me for lectures after this publication, because they found it really interesting, and it actually is. I have uploaded on the resources, you can check it out. And I consider this an obligation for me to do in this particular course, so I hope you've enjoyed it.